Hi, my name is Eiríkur. I am the lead level designer for Myrkur Games, and I'm also the vlog director. That's why I'm making another level design vlog. Since Iceland got the COVID wave number 2, it's not really easy to get anyone to shoot a vlog with, and I didn't really want to do one over the internet, so I just decided to do another one since the last one was pretty well received. So yeah, I've been working really hard on improving our AI in combat for the last month, so I thought it was an opportune moment to create another arena again. So that's what I did. I just went online and googled the new Blue Lagoon hotel in Iceland, and I thought it was a really cool reference. So I just decided to use that as my base point and went on from there. So the first thing, as usual, is just to drag in the sky. I'm using an HDRI this time, not just the sky sphere, and yeah, it's just pretty decent looking HDRI, and then I drag in the directional light and skylight. I'm using only dynamic lights in this level, so I'm using distance field shadows to improve performance, and then of course the exponential height fog is adding a lot of detail and just making everything pop and bloom. So as with any other build, I'm using my pre-made post-processing blueprint, so I don't have to go in there and fiddle with all the basics, the stuff that I do every time, like max brightness. I set that to 1 just to not have the light bouncing all over the place. Then I put down my first block using the customizable grid materials like we showed last time. Really handy pack for scale, and then it's just trying to get the mood of the concept and blocking it out. So I did have some back and forths of how I wanted it to look. So first I was really kind of true to the concept, and then I realized it didn't really make sense as an arena. So I went in there and did everything again, basically, but still the concept remained of the building next to the Blue Lagoon water, and then the lava on the other side. So since we've added a lot of traversal mechanics to the AI, I'm using a lot of jumping around and climbing. So the AI should be able to do almost anything the player can do. So what I'm doing with all these green arrows that I'm dragging around is I'm adding smart linkers for the AIs to traverse around, know where they can go and stuff like that. And then I'm tagging the terrain they can climb on as climbable. Alright, so now that I'm pretty happy with the layout and how it feels, it looks pretty good, I am ready to move on to populating with real assets. So I'm using a mixture between Megascans and then our own in-house assets. Megascans, of course, is really helpful. Just makes the development time so much quicker, so I'd really recommend checking it out. It's also free on the Epic Store now. You can just get these packs, you don't need to go through the bridge. Yeah, so I'm doing a lot of color grading. That's why the colors are always flickering around, because with every scene you need to get a certain mood to the assets, and tweaking those colors just grounds everything into the same reality. And I get a bit of leniency with like 100% realistic colors. Since it's a fantasy game, it doesn't need to be 100%. And so on the terrain, I'm Foley painting almost all the lava and like the rocks and stuff that you see to break up the terrain. it just makes all the assets instanced, which is really nice to lessen draw costs, and the computer just runs so much nicer with it. And then I'm using a lot of splines to create all the landscapes and areas around. It's just so much quicker and easier, and it's actually pretty good on performance, so that's really nice as well. Then I'm placing down all the enemies, and if they get stuck somewhere, I need to go in there and fix that particular area, because sometimes with these realistic assets, the traversal like colliders won't be optimized, so I'll need to move around these blocking volumes, which I just use for traversal. And then of course the splines, they just use default collisions, so I need to go in there and add traversal colliders just for the AI and the player, so you can climb up them. So after a bit of the designing around, I realized that you couldn't really see all of the water, the Blue Lagoon water that I'm trying to which is the unique factor to the level. So I just decided to add some of it up to the level. So I'm actually using decals and then just painting the terrain with kind of silica looking texture, and that's really delivering this Blue Lagoon look that I'm trying to go for. So I was having a bit of trouble with the current assets on making the platforms in between. So what I ended up using was just, we have these watchtowers made for another level, and they look pretty good just placing them down, and then I added just some ladders to make it look like cages in the water. They don't really need to make sense if they look cool, and since it's just an arena that the player is mostly focusing on combat, I came out super well. I'm really happy with that, and yeah, solved probably the biggest issue I had. Then I go around using decals to just freshen up the environment, make everything look so much more like weathered. Since these are supposed to be old ruins in this area, I need to have like this rain decal, the water has damaged the walls, and then I add just a bit of bird poop on some windowsills and like the roofs, because birds would definitely go there and poop. This is a really fun detail to see in there. And then going in and adding like localized fog clouds also adds a lot of depth, and then adding these fog planes, which give you this geothermal feeling. Looks like it's a bit geothermal active. Adding some mountains into the vista gives a really nice depth to the scene, and like these mountains are really low poly, so they don't really count for much, and they're not being dynamically lit at all since they're so far away from the camera, so the cost of them is practically nothing. And then also adding these tree plane cards, which are just a bunch of trees that make it look like it's a dense forest back there, and then just painting a few trees in front of it gives a really nice like dense forest vibe. So it looks better. Yeah, so after playing through the level countless times, I think I'm just ready to send it to the team, so everyone should be able to play it now. I have just a few people play the white box. Since the white box is the most intense playtesting area, you need to get the feeling right in just gray boxes. If you can't do that, then you need to fix that level before you go adding assets, which makes it harder to improve the level, and the iteration time is just so much slower if you have all these assets around. So get the core boxes ready and then move on to making everything pretty and look great. Yeah, so I'm pretty happy with how this level build turned out. We will be posting a time lapse of the build as well, like we did last time. Should be in the link below. So the posting schedule isn't going to be as good as it has been. I mean, it hasn't been excellent, but we'll just see how it goes in the coming days and in the situation. But this has been a level design vlog for me, and yeah, I hope you go check out the other content on our channel, and thank you very much for watching.